Thank you so much for watching and listening to another episode of Unmedicated and Educated with Keita Rose. I'm Keita Rose, and here we deep dive, dissect, and sometimes diagnose because it seems everyone, including myself, I am not excluded from this, has lost their damn minds. And today's patients, today's cases have definitely done just that, okay? Today is a doozy. So if you are new here, thank you so much for trying me out. Yes, and if you are an OG, then you already know what the going on, okay? Like, share, subscribe, talk shit in the comments. Tell me how you really feel. Y'all, before we start, I wanted to run something by you, okay? I'm still gonna have my podcast. I'm still gonna have my unmedicated convos where, you know, we do the YouTube lives and we have fun and we chat. We're still gonna do those things. We're still gonna get into it, but I think I wanna add something new, something different, something fresh. I think I wanna start reviewing TV shows, specifically reality TV shows. So if you have a show that you are absolutely obsessed with, you can't turn it off. Not just a show that's okay, but a show that you will binge on your best day, on your worst day. Please put it down in the comments because I'm really thinking about starting off with Love After Lockup. If you have no idea what Love After Lockup is, you've come to the right place, baby. I don't know if it's TLC, AMC, I'm not sure what channel it's on. I'll find that out April 19th because that is when the first season, first episode is premiering. But Love After Lockup just follows couples that decided to be together despite one of them being in prison. Federal prison. Can't touch you, can't talk to you outside of certain times. Might be getting shanked in the bathroom, might not be. And this is something that I love to watch. That 90 Day Fiance, My 600-Pound Life. I mean, all of it is unhinged and I'm in love with it. I can't help it. I can't stop, won't stop, okay? Diddy, no Diddy. Can't stop, won't stop, no Diddy. So again, comment your favorite television show, specifically reality. Put that down below and we'll see what we can concoct and come up with, y'all, because I really want to get into reviews. I really want to get into, let me watch this with y'all and let's discuss the tea, okay? Okay, I got my notes out for today because like I told you, today's gonna be a doozy. It is. The first case I want to talk about, okay, the first patient would be NBA Youngboy. NBA standing for Never Broke Again. Now, if you don't know who NBA Youngboy is, then I don't know what to tell you other than the fact that he may or may not have been shot a couple times. I'm not sure. He has a lot of injuries on his a lot of scarring, I don't know if he's been harmed. I know that he presents himself like a gangster, right? Like there are some rappers that you know don't really have it like that you know ain't really been through shit. You know, they were raised up in a middle class household, probably had a car at 15, definitely not gangster, definitely didn't see it or see some shit at 7 or got it through the mud. They've never gotten their shoe dirty, right? And then you know that there are rappers who have been shot several times, have been stabbed and shanked, do have people coming after them, are really in that lifestyle of drugs and money and rap like they rap about, right? Like the people that are about what they bout and about what they say they bout. And I do believe that NBA Youngboy, mostly because he's, you know, he named himself Never Broke Again. Nigga, I'm not never going broke again. I don't care what I gotta do legally or illegally, okay? I'm never going broke again. So that being part of the reason, but also because he just looks like he doesn't give a fuck about anything, any consequences, anything. So he's a rapper. He has a lot of really popular songs. I think he's talented. I don't know what he's going through mentally from the spouts in jail and marrying various different people. And I say marrying because he said that Yaya Mayweather, if y'all don't know, Mayweather's daughter Yaya had, you know, really had fallen for him and took a liking to him and they had a child together and she stabbed one of the young ladies that I believe he was sleeping with, okay? But she's not one of the patients today. She's not one of our cases today. But he said that was his wife and then shortly after he actually got married to another lady. And so, you know, I don't know how many kids. I think we're on 12. I think we're on his 12th child. So between all of that and then him moving to Utah, which I'm not sure why he's there, and painting his nails black and taking pictures of himself with makeup on, I don't know what the man is going through. I know he has the money. I know he's gotten out the hood, but he's been hit with another lawsuit, okay? This time it's just charges, 63 charges. They got fraud. They got identity theft. They got unlawful possession of a firearm. They got possession of substances, some pills. It seems like they found him, they caught his ass, and they just racked up the charges because 63 charges seems a bit much. You know what I mean? But listen, this is what apparently happened. So they said NBA Youngboy was booked and charged in Utah. Again, we don't know why he's in Salt Lake City, Utah, but this is his mansion. Oh my God. God. They said they had to raid his mansion. That is beautiful, looks peaceful. See, this is how I know people don't really appreciate where they are, because if I was in that type of mansion, I'm rubbing my feet together like a cricket. Okay, I am wrapped up in a heating blanket. My titties are released from the bra. All right, I'm drinking hot cocoa. I'm minding my business. I might do a little skiing. I might watch the white people ski because I'm scared of it. You know what I mean? But I'm not going out there and committing crimes. But then again, we always talk about how we want millions of dollars, right? Everybody wants to be a millionaire because they believe that money buys them happiness, which that has been proven over and over again to be false, okay? So many rich people, so many wealthy people have off themselves, unalived others, have been caught in scandals, have gone broke. So, I mean, there's just so many reasons as to why money doesn't buy you happiness, but we all say that we want it. One thing I think we don't think about is what it takes to get the money or keep the money, right? Like, we want the money, but are you willing to do what you need to do in order to keep the money? And that might be committing fraud and identity theft, or because some people were in the comments like, why would NBA YoungBoy be committing identity theft? He has money, he has talent, he has a wife, he has a family, he's with these random people in Utah or wherever they were. What's that about? He doesn't even look like he belongs. But why is he doing something like this? It's either he's on drugs and doesn't have Michael Jackson money or any of the other celebrity money that can just go ahead and get their own personal drug dealers, which aren't really drug dealers, they're doctors. Either that, or he needs to maintain money. Maybe he's doing this like they called it. What did they call it? They said that he was doing a prescription drug ring. And I've heard of a sex ring. I've heard of different rings, drug rings, but prescription drug ring, I guess, is much like a regular drug ring where there's a lot of people involved doing some real fucked up shit, and they got caught, right? So let's take a little listen at what YoungBoy did. And shout out to Law and Crime Sidebar with Jesse Weber, okay? This man be breaking it down for you. If you didn't know what charges were being brought against your favorite celebrities or what they did or what the people are saying that they did or didn't do, the allegations, if you want to know who's suing who or who's going to jail for the rest of their lives, go ahead and go on to Sidebar because Jesse's going to break it on down. Go ahead, Jess.
I'm talking about rapper YoungBoy, Never Broke Again, or NBA YoungBoy. Well, he has just found himself in a lot of hot water after he was arrested out in Utah. The artist, whose real name is Kentrell Gaulden, has been booked into the Cache County Jail on a number of charges. In fact, according to jail records, the listed charges are pattern of unlawful activity, procuring or attempting to procure drug prescriptions, identity.
This would kill me about the pattern of unlawful activity because it doesn't actually say what you did. It's just basically like you're doing too much shit and it's become a pattern and you're really pissing us the fuck off.
Forgery, possession of other controlled substances, possession of a dangerous weapon by a restricted person. Now, KUTV2 News out in Utah, remember Brian Schnee? Talked a lot with him and his associates during the Ruby Frankie case. Well, they have reported that YoungBoy is actually looking at potentially 63 formal charges. This 63. According to an arrest affidavit. And according to this arrest affidavit, this is pursuant to, quote, a large-scale prescription fraud ring. In which people would call in fraudulent prescriptions under the names of actual real doctors, but then they would use fake patient names with fake information. There's an allegation that when it became...
This would kill me about that type of stuff right there. Okay, so it was a prescription fraud ring, right? So NBA YoungBoy and his homeboys have actual doctors' information, and I want to know how they got it. They are calling in, and I wrote this one down. They are calling in with DEA numbers and NPI numbers, which apparently are, privy to the doctors that hold this identification. So it's only for doctors. They have this information, they have these numbers. They're calling these local clinics and these local pharmacies that are already aware of, these doctors. They already have the information. They can look it up in their systems. It's coming, out correct. Ding, 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 you got it. And how are you getting this information? Who is giving this to you? Are you going and having people go to hospitals and, doing some like spy type shit where when the doctor walks out, you're in their identification, you're in the person purses, you're in the wallet. Well, how are you finding out this information about these doctors? Now, I understand making up fake patients, right? But even that is like, if you're going to do it big, hell. Get some old people that, go to some senior citizens' homes. Not saying commit this crime. I'm not saying to commit this crime. But I'm saying if you're going to do it and really do it, don't be lazy with it and make up the patients, No, grandma, Quilazine does need promethazine. So give it to her.
This investigation was happening into this scheme that someone apparently called law enforcement pretending to be a, quote, Gwendolyn Cox.
Gwendolyn
who wanted
Cox.
to speak with a deputy, but really wouldn't provide a lot of information. According to the affidavit, quote, Gwendolyn sounded as though she was a much younger male from the southern states.
Jesus.
Gwendolyn made a statement.
Stop it.
I asked her.
This is what I'm talking about. Stop it. This is what I'm talking about. If you're going to do it big. So you got the doctor's information. You were able to get the identification that are only given to doctors. You're able to get that. So you got those key identifiers, right? Check and check. But you make up patients' names, right? And so you, not only are you making up patients' names, but now you're calling the police on behalf of a patient, I guess, to figure out how much information they have on this case, so that you can see if you're in the clear. And you've named yourself Gwendolyn, but you sound like a young male from the South. Okay, Gwendolyn, a white lady named Gwendolyn from Utah, sounds like NBA YoungBoy. I could only imagine that damn phone call.
And she said that she'll have you call me. This statement was a response to a request that was made to have Gwendolyn contact dispatch and have them transfer a call back through. I've lived in the southern United States. The terminology in replacing the word ask with ax or other variations is considered.
They said this is southern slang because we don't say, let me ask you a question. We say, I gotta ask you something. Like, I'm gonna chop down this conversation with the verbial ax.
With a southern dialect in states such as Texas, Louisiana, Georgia, and other southern states. Now, according to KUTV, what apparently happened in the end was multiple people were arrested when allegedly young boy's car was being used to pick up one of these fraudulent prescriptions. It was pulled over, marijuana, a weapon, multiple prescription bottles were found in the car. The arrest affidavit says, quote, according to the FBI, Cantrell is the known leader of a violent gang from the Louisiana area. Based on Cantrell's history, it is apparent that he's prone to violence. Based on the totality of the circumstances, a no-bail hold is requested to be placed on Cantrell, pending a detainer to be obtained by federal prosecution for his current case.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, some rappers, they pretend like they're about that life, and it seems like NBA YoungBoy is. I really would like to get into his head, and really, I wish somebody would talk to him about things other than the fact that he has 45,000 kids, and just really ask him about, like, has people ever asked him about his childhood or what has happened to him that may or may not have been traumatic? Because the fact that you have this undeniable talent, right? He can rap his ass off. He can ride the beat. The boy knows what he's doing, right? And so the fact that you can have this undeniable talent but decide to take your money and take your talent and to be a part of, I'm sure, a very lucrative, though. Like, he not stupid. I mean, he put it in his name, never broke the hell again. I won't do it again. I'm not going to eat ramen again. Okay, so I'm sure very lucrative, but kind of stupid scheme to call these clinics with this southern accent and trying to sound like a prestigious doctor. I could only imagine how that could you imagine how that phone call went? Hello, this is Red Herring Pharmaceutical.
Hey, yo, yes, miss bitch. I need to fill a script.
I'm sorry, sir. Did you call me a bitch?
Yes, I need to fill a... Pussy asshole, listen to me and listen now, quick now, bitch. I need to ask you to fill a script for me, ho. Now, bitch, now. The number, my NPI is 77...
This is too much. What? I'm sure he didn't sound any more like a doctor than Flavor Flav would have, okay? Terrible. So he's calling these people. They know that he's not a doctor. He sounds like a Southern gangster. He is a Southern gangster. And so I guess what happened is the pharmacy company decided to pretend to allow this to go down. So there were two girls that were associated with NBA YoungBoy that were riding in his car. The car that he had mentioned had the marijuana and all the pills pills and the guns and whatnot. And they went to go get the medicine and they were arrested on the spot. Traced the car back to NBA and 63 counts of felonious shit later, there it is. Damn. All right. We're going to prescribe Kentrell anything that's not what he's already currently taking. Okay. He's one of those people that get real excited when you go ahead and write that script for him. Okay. So we can't give him anything to calm him down. No Adderall to keep him focused on his career and his talent and all the 19 kids that he has. We're not going to give him any of that because 9 times out of 10, he's going to mix it with some other shit and create a stronger lean. I don't know why people want to be zombies anyway. I like all my functions, mostly because one of my biggest fears is just losing control of all my faculties and just shitting myself. Okay. So I don't want to be on anything, but that's me. All right. It is what it is. We're going to hope Kentrell gets the help that he needs and hopefully he comes out of prison. We thought that he had changed the last 5 times, but this time is the charm. This time he's going to do it, and blessings and prayers to his wife. Not Yaya, the one that he's posting on his Instagram, okay? Let's move on. Okay, this story is so sad, you guys. It is so sad, and I just needed to talk about it because at first, I'm still angry. I'm still very much so angry, so I don't want to come off like at first I was mad, but then when I got the information that I needed, I wasn't mad anymore. Absolutely not. Still very, very mad. But, you know, this happened in Ohio. So an 81-year-old man named Brock had murdered, he shot and killed a 61-year-old woman named Loletha. I want to say her name right. Loletha Hall, right? And his name is William Brock. We'll call him Brock for the sake of this video. And, you know, from the video that I seen, right? And God forgive me, it was the slowest crime I had ever witnessed in my life. Very, very slow. Looked like the crime was on slow motion, okay? And this is due to the people's ages. But from what I've seen, I mean, Lolita looked like she could barely walk. She didn't look like she was a threat at all. She definitely didn't have a weapon. She wasn't saying much, but I couldn't hear it in the video. There was no volume. But 81-year-old Brock had said that he had been getting phone calls, like spam likely calls, right? And he had been getting it for some time now where these people were threatening him. He said the calls went from, you know, one guy pretending to be an officer of the court saying that one of his family members had been arrested and asking for a very large amount of money in order to bond the family member out. That was one of the scams that was calling him. Another scam was that a family member or one of the people that he knew were kidnapped and they were asking for a very large ransom. And one of the last calls he said that he received was that kidnapping call where the person said that they were going to send an Uber to get the money from him. Listen, there's so much on my mind about this, but just you guys, let's take a look at what the news says what happened.
Tonight, showing the moment, a Columbus Uber driver was shot and killed by a homeowner in Clark County, both victims of a scam. Before we show you this video, we want to warn you, it could be hard to watch. We are only going to show the moments before, not the actual shooting. The Clark County Sheriff's Office sent us this video from Loletha Hall's car's dash cam. The Sheriff's Office says the Uber driver was requested through.
And I just want to say to all the Uber drivers or the Lyft drivers out there, I don't care if you're driving part-time or full-time, please get a dash cam, get all them cams up in there. The people get inside of your car that you own, and act a plumb fool. Whether they're throwing up, making out with somebody, tearing up your back seat, cussing you out, telling you where to go, telling you not to listen to the GPS to go left or go right. Regardless of any of that, you need to get those cameras, the dash cam in front, the cam in the back, and the cam inside of the car so that we can see what's going on with you and who did what to you. We need to be able to see. It's ridiculous. Get a camera.
The Uber app to pick up a package at this house near Springfield. The video taken on March 25th, you can see Hall walk in front of her car holding her phone and glasses in her left hand. Moments later, the dash cam shows Hall backing away from the 81-year-old William Brock, who lived at that home. Brock follows her to her car, pointing a gun at her the entire time. Authorities say Brock took Hall's cell phone and refused to let her leave. When she tried to get back in her car, that's when investigators.
And this ain't even funny, y'all. But I mean, I tell you, when I say that Loletha, bless her heart, at 61, could barely move, right? She was walking very slow. 81-year-old William was moving even slower, but I would have had to go ahead and use the last bit of my strength to punch that man in his face once he took my phone. I'm sure she was confused. She said she had, sources are saying that she had or would have had no idea why she was called, why, the Uber was called. A lot of people said in the comments, they were like, why did she even get out her car? That's not normal for an Uber driver. But one of my friends had mentioned something that made a lot of sense. What if Uber or Lyft has like a little section where you can choose a ride for somebody that's maybe special needs, whether they're in a wheelchair, they can't walk, they're old. You would have seen his picture maybe if she was going to his house. You would have seen when it says, such and such is ready to be picked up, a picture shows maybe she saw that he was old. They checked special needs. She got out the car to help. So I don't even think that she was there for any nefarious business. Now, I do believe Brock, right? The man who says that there were prank calls directed at him and people were calling him. I believe that because shortly thereafter, Loletha comes and gets out of her car. Like, I'm sure the story goes deeper. There's more to the story than this, has to be. But, from me just looking on the outside in, I'm like, there's a white man just trying to kill a black woman, right? Like, he's old. Maybe he has dementia. Maybe he thinks it's back in 1912 where he can do whatever the hell he wants. And so he's clearly targeting this black woman. But now that he's mentioned all these phone calls, and then she did get out of her car, and there was a random person that sent the Uber. So they're still trying to track who sent the Uber. It's like, I don't know. I don't think he was, just targeting her, just to target her.
Investigators say Brock shot her. Deputies say Hall was unarmed and made no threats towards Brock. The sheriff's office says earlier that day a scammer called Brock and told him one of his relatives was in jail and needed money to post bail. The call turned into threats and a demand for money. The same caller then told Hall to pick up a package at Brock's house. Brock is charged with murder tonight.
And that's just wild that they really need to find out who that person that called is. I'm very interested to find out who that caller was and what was the reason, right? Sometimes you just got to look at a situation and say, what was the damn reason for this? Did Brock piss somebody off? If he did, and that person wanted to get back at him by playing with him and threatening him, why didn't it just stop at upsetting him on the phone? Why did it have to go so far as to call someone else and involve someone else and then tell them to get out of their car and go pick up a package or go get him? Or because I guess that wasn't the case with the feature of the special needs. I guess she was getting out of the car to pick up a package, which is not a service that Lyft or Uber would have allowed. So I do believe this story goes a lot further, but I do want to just give a little tribute to Loletha because I think it was disgusting how she lost her life. They say he shot her 3 times before he finally picked up a phone and called the police. Now, this is an older man. He's 81, but it doesn't seem like he had much communication. He didn't ask what you're doing here. Why are you here? What package are you picking up? Who sent you? Maybe he did say all that. Again, on her dash cam, it didn't show anything but like that, again, slow crime between 2 elderly people. But I do believe that Brock had it up to here with those phone calls. I don't think that that's a justification for him to have ended anybody's life. I think that people were pranking him and scamming him. And if he was aware that it was a scam, then I don't know, because it's so tricky. Like, somebody is scamming you, they're threatening you, you're afraid, and then you get a ring at the doorbell. But common sense would have told me to go ahead and alert the police, right? I'm old, I'm frail. There's men on the phone attacking me verbally, threatening me. Maybe I should call the authorities so that they can handle this before I open my door. I know, I don't know what the hell it is about older people that believe that the older they get, the stronger they are, right? And they're strong-willed and they're strong-minded, but their flesh and their bones are weak as shit, and they always want to do something. Now, let's say that it was these men that were attacking him, these men that were scamming him, and it was 3 big-ass men at his door. Now, what the hell would he have done? Okay, he could barely hold up the gun. It was too heavy for him. I don't know. I just wanted to give a little tribute to Loletha because I think that this is a 61-year-old woman that apparently is still having to work, right? Because she's an Uber driver, Lyft driver, whatever. It was an Uber driver, right? So she's still being forced to work. That's America. She can barely walk. That's America, right? And here she is just trying to make an honest living. I don't believe that she had anything to do with the scam. I hope to God she didn't have anything to do with the scamming and the threatening and the harassing of this man, this 81-year-old man, but I do believe that she needs a little tribute. So in her obituary, that word be effing me up, y'all. Wow. In her obituary, it says that Loletha Hall was a Columbus, Ohio native who had been living in Charlotte, North Carolina before moving back home in 2023. So she had just moved home last year. She was described as an incredible cook and had retired from work at the Regional Income Tax Agency. She is survived by her 33-year-old son, Mario. And thoughts and prayers are going out to her son. I could only imagine getting news that my mother was shot down, murdered after just trying to do her job at 61 years old by someone who needs to be, let's talk about it, because why is Brock at 81 years old? Why is he not in somebody's Shady Pines? Why is he not in somebody's nursing home somewhere? The problem is not that I think that older people shouldn't be right in their home, because I know how hard it is. I don't want to be one of those older people that are forced to be put in some home where these 19-year-olds, are beating the shit out of me or touching me inappropriately. Please, God, hopefully my son loves me enough to not put me in that position, or hopefully I'm healthy enough to stop myself from being in that position. But even at 81, at the most healthy, I don't need to be answering the door by myself or, frolicking around with a weapon. Where is his family? Who does he live with? Like, there's so much to unpack. It's not even funny. I think that the diagnosis should be that this old ass man gets to be put in a prison for the rest of his life, right? It's shaky. It's tricky because did he mean to kill this woman? Was he, is he out of his mind? Does he suffer with dementia? Why does he have a gun? Who is messing with this man? Why is somebody harassing an 81-year-old man to the point where they made it go that far? Was that their intention? Baby, it's a mess, okay? Thoughts and prayers to Loletha's family. I hope we find out the truth and what really happened and what's really going on. I'm sure that story has more to unpack. I'm sure there's more to unpack in that story. I can't. I got one more for you. If you think that your life sucks, right? And more than the people working for NBA YoungBoy who's now arrested and doesn't have the money, the $200,000 to bail themselves out of this, fraudulent prescription ring. If you think your life sucks, I'm here to tell you that other people are going through shit too, right? It's not new news that people experience highs and lows through life. That's just what it is, right? Depression is real. Inflation is crazy. People don't feel like they can survive. They're living paycheck to paycheck, right? They can't even provide shoes for their kids or a proper meal for their family. So Giancarlo Esposito, I'm gonna call him Gian the rest of this time. I'm not gonna say his full name, but Giancarlo Esposito, that fine man who's an actor, very distinguished look. I always thought he was fine. Do y'all think he's fine? Maybe he's not your cup of tea, but I think he's cute. Says that he was so broke at one point in his life. He was so broke, not never broke again, always broke forever, right? He was so broke that he considered arranging his own murder. Let that sink in, that you are so broke. Not I'm so broke, man, I'm just gonna off myself. But he decided that he was going to arrange his own demise, right? So that his 4 kids and his wife at the time could get his life insurance policy. He said that he had been talking about it with family members and it was asking questions, to even his wife. And he was like, what did he say? Hey, do I get life insurance if, I kill myself? Do my family get the bread? He says. And his wife said, well, that's kind of tricky. I'm not sure. And that killed me right there when I read that and when I heard that. When his wife was like, it's a little tricky, and started to break down the policy, because my first thought as a wife would be like, why? Are you trying to end your life so you could leave me here with 4 fucking kids by myself, knowing the dating pool already has piss in it? And it's gonna be really hard for me to find somebody. Not only do I need to find somebody, my kids need a new Papa Dappa, right? Papa. But I also have to deal with the trauma and the pain associated with my husband offing himself or mysteriously dying, because I guess she had explained to him that a suicide won't get you insurance money. You have to die by misadventure. So that is the reason why he was planning to pay somebody to off him. And my thing is, first of all, what a great man. I want to know if a man's going to sacrifice himself like that for me. You don't love me like that, don't love me at all. Don't leave me now. Don't actually go through with that fucked up plan. But if you don't think like that in order to protect me and your children, don't love me at all, okay? You're not the type of man I want. I want a Giancarlo. My thing with that would be, what if I elect the person that's going to do it. I pay them the money. They're going to do it, May 13th, 9 p.m. while I'm running, and I change my mind. Do you then are you able to then, flag him down and say, no, I forget about it? Like text him like, please don't, I'm just playing. Do you forget the day? Do you tell him to do it randomly instead of like a day that you'll know? Do you say, do it this week, catch me outside? How about that? Like, how do you arrange something like that? Anyways, good for Giancarlo that he didn't have to do that. He said he was so broke, that's how he was going to feed his 4 kids. But he said that he did a guest spot on the show Breaking Bad, and he was so good, I guess they asked him to come back, and he was able to be on the hit show Breaking Bad, which then saved his life. So I said all that to say this. One, your life is never as bad as you believe. And I'm not one of those people that say, you're not going through anything because other people have it worse. No, your feelings are valid. What you've gone through is valid. Your experiences are your experiences. However, right, there are people out there that are experiencing other things as well, depression as well. They're to the point where they might want to take themselves out. And so if you ever feel like you're alone, just know that you're not. There are people making these, grave plans for themselves and their families in order to survive and in order to make it. But I also want to add that because he didn't give up and because he was able to secure that spot on Breaking Bad, he and his family and even his ex-wife are now flourishing and they're happy, and he was able to keep his life. So you'll never be able to actually succeed if you give up, especially on life. We were given one, right? And so definitely take your L's and understand that there are ups and downs that life has to offer. And sometimes the downs feel like they are so fucking long. Sometimes the trials and the tribulations outweigh the joy of just being here, being able to breathe, being able to see your kids, your loved one, somebody graduate, getting that new job, that feeling that you get when you get a new car, or maybe when you get to lay down and relax at night and rub your feet together like a cricket. There are joys in life, and we need to start practicing the attitude of gratitude, baby, because people have it worse. It could be worse. You've always gotten through it. And so why should this time be any different? So please keep that in mind. Okay, lastly but not leastly, I started taking questions, and not only questions, but I started taking questions and stories on my website. So if you have a story that you want to tell me or ask me about, you want some affordable advice, because this advice is going to be the only advice you'll be able to afford. It's so affordable, it's free, okay? Then please write me at www.kitasaidit.com and let me know what you need to let me know. This Off the Script is brought to you by Rachel M. She's a 36-year-old female, and she's from Sunnyside, California. She says, Kita, how are you? I'm so glad you included this segment because I've been dying to ask you a question for a year. I love my best friend, whose name shall remain anonymous. Okay, all right. So we will call her Frenchie. Me and Frenchie have been friends for 10 years, and she recently moved back in town, so we are able to spend more time together. She's been dating a man for about 4 years, and though they've never been physical with each other, he scares the shit out of me and her and all of our other friends. Good Lord. Okay, he scares the hell out of everybody. Why is he scaring Frenchie? What's happening? We will be having wine, and he will tell us to get the hell out because he's tired. He screams at us. He has kicked down his own front door several times while I've been there, and again, nothing has happened, but other than we are scared. Every time we bring up the fact that he is both mentally and emotionally abusive, she gets mad and threatens to end our friendship. He won't allow her to go out, so the only time we can see her is when we go to their house. Kita, I don't want to end this friendship, but her man is scaring the shit out of me. What do I do? I ain't even gonna lie to you, this happened to me. Not all that, but I was in a situation where I had met a new friend. I didn't know much about her, but when I went to her house, we were chilling, having drinks, enjoying each other, and her baby daddy went ballistic. I don't know if he found something. I don't know what happened, but he went ballistic. It scared the hell out of me. And I'm gonna tell you what I did straight up. I liked her. She was cool and all, but she wasn't that damn cool for me. Now, I get it. It's different with y'all too, because, you guys have been friends for over 10 years. And that's a friendship I really wouldn't end either if, other than this incident, she's a good friend, right? You don't want to end this friendship, but I got my car keys. I got the hell out of Dodge. I never talk to old girl again. I don't ever recommend running from problems or avoiding problems, but I will ghost a mother freaker in a minute if they scare the hell out of me. Now, you in a situation where I'm trying to help you as a friend, and I'm telling you that even if your man doesn't make you uncomfortable, he literally makes me uncomfortable. He is scaring me to the point where I don't even want to be around you. On top of that, I can't even hang out with you, right? Unless he's around or you're at that house. I'm sorry. I would say, and this is affordable advice, mind you, but I would say that you're going to have to cut off that friendship. Some friends need to be our friends, but from a distance. I can love you from a distance, right? So I might call you, text you. We might be able to FaceTime, but that's all that. Maybe if you're shopping, if she's shopping, we can meet up at Kroger or at Tom Thumb, go to Ulta together if she's out, right? Because she's not just in that house 24/7, she goes out. So maybe we can go catch a movie or, drink some coffee. But at the end of the day, I have seen too many situations in person and online, right? Where it takes 5 seconds for something to happen, that person to snap, and then for some reason they target the friend. They target the friend or the family member like they love that person too much to kill them. So they'll just kill everybody around them that they love dearly, right? Like, that'll hurt her if I do this. That way she'll know that I'm serious, but I still get to keep my girl. Hell no, it's not worth it. It's not worth your life. This man is unhinged. He kicked down his own damn door. There's not a second that I would ever in my life break my own shit or kick down my own door. Doors are expensive. I just went to go buy a new one, all right? I just went to go buy a new, more sturdy and secure one at Lowe's for $500, and that was on the cheap end. So I personally don't think that it's worth this. Friendship is not worth it, and you need to get away from it. You can love her from a distance. She is your new friend, phone friend. She's your new texting buddy. You and her talk about movies and books that you've read over a nice glass of wine through FaceTime, but you're not going over to that house ever again. That's what I would say. You're never going over that house again. Your other friends aren't going either. And maybe she'll get so lonely up in that damn hellhole that she's built, right? Because you said that she's not physical, that it's not gotten physical. And since it hasn't gotten physical, then you can't really say, unless it really is mental and emotional abuse and she is afraid, right? But you can't really say that she's afraid, give her grace, like figure out how she can get out the situation, because she doesn't want to get out the situation. She doesn't want to get out her relationship, so much so she'll cuss you out and she'll threaten to cut you off before she'll cut him off. So it's not going to be one of those. And unfortunately, when we see those people that we love in situations like that, it hurts us so much, but it hurts us even more to sit there and watch it. You're watching a train wreck and we don't know what's going to happen to Frenchie, but we hope that she remains safe and healthy, and that she gets the help that she needs in order to break away from this toxic ass relationship. It's not worth your life though, Rachel. It's not worth your life. I'd say, don't unfriend her, but distance yourself from her. What do you guys think? Should Rachel stop being friends with Frenchie altogether? Should Rachel distance herself like I'm saying, back it up? Or should Rachel continue to go over there in hopes that nothing happens, this man doesn't go berserk, and, keep having heart palpitations every time this Negro, I'd assume he's black. I'm sorry. This man has decided to kick down his own front door. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Thank you so much for writing in. If you want some affordable advice, remember your therapist is too expensive. If you want some affordable advice, so affordable it's free, write me at kitasaidit.com. Thank you so much. All right, y'all, that's it for our video today. Thank you so much for watching and listening to another episode of Unmedicated and Educated. You guys stay unmedicated, try to get educated. Go talk to that real therapist, that real lady on that couch. Go sit by that lady and talk to her. And until next time, I will holla.